This is you. There's your mom, her mom, and hers. Keep going. Soon you'll zoom past corsets, horse-drawn carriages, stone tools, and eventually stumble upon a creature hunched over a fire, gnawing on a bone and hoping to see another sunrise. That creature, that's your ancestor. They have no name, no language, and no clue that you, a distant descendant with a smartphone addiction and an unhealthy obsession with cat videos, even exist. But here's the kicker. If that creature or any of the countless beings in your ancestral line had zigged when they should have zagged, gotten squashed by a falling tree, or just decided celibacy was the way to go, you wouldn't be here. You exist because a million creatures before you didn't become lunch when they were supposed to. You're not special. You're the result of cosmic chaos and relentless evolution, baby. So let's dive into how close you came, time and time again, to never existing at all. We're going to rank the 5 worst times to be alive on Earth. From it could be worse to you might as well be born with a game over tattoo. Let's get this show on the road. Number 5, the Ice Age. About 20,000 years ago, during the last glacial maximum, Earth wasn't exactly a tropical paradise. Massive ice sheets, thicker than the stack of takeout menus in your drawer, blanketed huge swaths of North America, Europe, and Asia. Global temperatures were so low, you'd think the planet was going through a bad breakup. Imagine waking up every day to a world where beach weather means it is warm enough that your spit doesn't freeze before it hits the ground. That was life during the Ice Age. Your ancestors weren't building snowmen and having cute snowball fights. They were in a constant battle against frostbite, starvation, and really big predators that thought humans looked like walking burritos. But here's the thing. Humans are like cockroaches with opposable thumbs. We survived, we adapted, we figured out how to make warm clothes, build shelters, and hunt mammoths. Which, by the way, is like trying to take down a tank with a pointy stick. Your ancestors were badasses. Number 4, the Black Death. Fast forward to the 14th century. Europe is having a grand old time with feudalism, terrible hygiene, and a complete misunderstanding of how diseases work. Enter the Black Death, stage left. This wasn't your average stay-home from school sickness. This was the "oh look, I'm bleeding from my eyeballs" kind of plague. It wiped out anywhere from 30% to 60% of Europe's population. That's like if everyone in Texas suddenly vanished, and the rest of America just shrugged and said, "Guess we'll have to make our own barbecue now." The worst part. Nobody knew what was causing it. Some blamed it on bad air. Others thought it was divine punishment. A few probably blamed it on that weird guy down the street who talked to his chickens. Spoiler alert, it was fleas. Fleas on rats. So basically, your ancestors survived because they were either really lucky or really good at rat-proofing their homes. Number 3, the Bronze Age collapse. Let's rewind to around 1200 BCE. Civilization is booming. We've got writing, trade, fancy metal tools. Life is good. Then, seemingly overnight, everything goes to hell in a handbasket. Major cities destroyed, international trade, capit, writing systems forgotten faster than your New Year's resolutions. It was like someone hit the reset button on civilization. Imagine waking up one day and finding out that not only is your Wi-Fi down, but so is electricity, running water, and the concept of money. What caused this massive system crash? Well, it wasn't a single event, but a perfect storm of disasters. Climate change, yes, it was a thing even back then. Invasions, earthquakes, and possibly a revolt of the peasants who were tired of building massive vanity projects for kings. It was basically every apocalypse movie rolled into one, minus the zombies. Your ancestors who lived through this had to go from which wine goes best with my imported delicacies to how do I make a spear to hunt my dinner. In the span of a generation, talk about a steep learning curve. Number 2, the late Devonian Extinction. Now we're going way back, about 375 million years ago. This wasn't just bad for humans who didn't exist yet, but for life in general. Up to 75% of all species on Earth checked out during this period. It was so bad, it makes the dinosaur extinction look like a minor inconvenience. What happened? Well, imagine if the Earth decided to play a cosmic game of how many ways can I kill everything? Rapid cooling, then warming, then cooling again. Oceans turning into dead zones, massive volcanic eruptions. It was like the planet was going through a really violent midlife crisis. Your ancestors at this point weren't even close to being human. They were probably fish thinking about taking their first steps onto land. And let me tell you, if there was ever a worse time to leave the water, this was it. It's like deciding to go skydiving in the middle of a hurricane. But some of those fish, almost amphibians, made it. They crawled onto land, looked around at the apocalyptic hellscape, and thought, yeah, this seems like a good place to evolve lungs and legs. That's the kind of optimism you're made of. And finally, number 1, the Great Dying. About 252 million years ago, Earth decided to really test the limits of life's resilience. This wasn't just an extinction event. This was Earth's attempt at a factory reset. Up to 96% of all marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrate species said adios. That's not just closing the book on a few chapters of life. That's burning down the entire library and salting the Earth where it stood. What could possibly cause such devastation? How about massive volcanic eruptions that lasted for 1 million years? These weren't your cute little Hawaiian volcanoes. These were eruptions that covered an area the size of Europe in lava. They pumped so much carbon dioxide into the atmosphere that it triggered a global warming event that would make our current climate crisis look like a warm day at the beach. The oceans turned acidic. The air became toxic. Even the ozone layer decided it had had enough and peaced out for a while. It was so bad that the few species that survived probably looked around and thought, maybe we should have let that meteor hit us instead. Your ancestors at this point were small, rat-like creatures that basically had to hide underground and eat whatever they could find for millions of years. They were the ultimate survivors, the cockroaches of their day. Every time you complain about your Wi-Fi being slow, remember that you come from a line of beings that survived the Earth trying to murder everything. So there you have it, the 5 worst times to be alive on Earth. From ice ages to plagues, from civilization collapses to near total annihilation of life. And yet here you are, watching this video, probably while eating something that was delivered to your door by a stranger you summoned with your phone. You're not just the product of evolution. You're the result of countless near misses with extinction. You're the grand prize winner in the cosmic lottery of existence. So the next time life gets you down, remember, you're made of tougher stuff than you think. You're the descendant of survivors, of beings that looked at an Earth trying its best to kill them and said, nice try, but not today. Now go out there and live like the miracle of stubborn biology that you are. And maybe, just maybe, appreciate that weird guy down the street who talks to his chickens. After all, you never know when that kind of skill might come in handy.